Beginning here by finding your way to a comfortable seated position. So you have a few options here. You see me cross-legged on the floor. Perhaps that helps to find a blanket or a block or a bolster to put under your seat here. Okay, another option. Right? You can use a block or a bolster, right? Just taking a moment to find a comfortable position. If none of those work for you, then a chair is great too. So taking a moment here, taking a moment to get settled. Feeling your sits bones, connecting you to the ground. Feeling into your seat here. And from here, starting to bring in your breath, okay? Starting to connect with your breath. And invite you to connect with your breath today, whatever way is most easy for you. So for me, I like to find my breath, the gentle rise and fall of my chest. For you, maybe you find in your abdomen, or perhaps where the air comes in through your nose and out through your mouth. Once again, just whichever way is easiest for you to connect to your breath. Spending a few moments here simply to be with your breath, to witness your breath. No need to change anything here. No need to manipulate your breath, control your breath. Simply standing witness here to your breath. Breathing as you connect to the ground. So allowing us a few moments here. We're going to bring in a little bit of movement. So bringing in our arms here. What we're going to do is add a lifting of the arms on the inhale, a lowering with the exhale. Okay, I find that palms facing up. Make this movement most easy on my shoulders. Okay, so finding a range of motion here that's easy, doesn't bring about any sort of pain or resistance in your shoulders. Inhaling to raise the arms up, exhaling to lower back down. Inhaling to raise up, exhaling to lower back down. So continuing to move with this, staying with your breath, letting your breath guide these movements here. And finding a rhythm that feels good in your body today. One or two more of these. And with your next exhale, relaxing out of that. Just bringing in a little bit of movement in your upper body here. Sometimes some seated cat-cows feel really good. Maybe some shoulder rolls, right? Whatever movement feels good here for you. Just some freedom to explore, to ask your back what feels most nourishing. Releasing out of that, we're going to do a little bit of very gentle twisting here, right? We're just getting started. So finding an inhale, the inhale finding perhaps a little bit more length. So again, keeping things gentle, inhaling to find a little bit more length, exhaling to twist, keeping that twist nice and gentle, inhaling back center, exhaling, twisting to the other side, inhaling back center, exhaling, twisting again, inhaling back center, and continuing to move through a few of these at your own pace, okay? Letting your breath guide these movements. And with this next one, releasing out of that, we're gonna find our way to tabletop. So finding your way to tabletop here, hands beneath your shoulders, knees beneath your hips. It's taking your time here to settle in, okay? You pressing your hands a little bit more fully into the earth, feeling the support of the ground. Giving yourself a little bit of time to explore the movement of your spine. Maybe bringing in some little baby cat-cows, moving your hips side to side. Right, just a moment to orient yourself in space here, to bring a little bit more awareness into your spine. Then finding your way to neutral here, into tabletop. From here, we're gonna take a moment simply to breathe in this orientation here. So connecting in with your rib cage, your abdomen, finding your breath here. And once again, standing witness, right? Standing witness to the movement pattern of your rib cage, your abdomen as you breathe here. So a few breaths to be in witness. Okay, coming off of your wrists for a moment. Maybe they want a little bit of a stretch. Coming back into tabletop. This time, finding your breath again. This time, inviting in a little bit of a fuller breath here. So maybe asking, can you find some 3D expansion? Some 3D expansion of your rib cage, your back and abdomen. And if you can't, that's okay, right? Maybe you're feeling a one-dimensional or two-dimensional breath, right? Maybe you're feeling only into the release of your chest. But once again, a little bit of a moment here to explore and to play with your breath, right? Holding a little bit of an attitude of playfulness here, right? It's some time to explore your breath here. And releasing out of that, sinking your hips back into child's pose. staying with our breath here, right? Using this pose here to breathe more fully into your back body. Can you feel the rise of the back of your rib cage? Can you feel your breath moving your lower back? Once again, a time for some exploration of your breath here. And from here, we're going to bring in a little vinyasa, a little bit of a flow. So on an inhale, rising back up through tabletop, we're going to continue to move forward all the way into cow. Exhaling back into child's pose. So staying with your breath, moving with your breath here. Inhaling, letting your collarbones really guide this movement. Last thing, head raises up, belly drops towards the floor, keeping it gentle. Exhaling back into child's pose. And continuing to move through a few of these, letting your breath guide these movements. Finding a pace that feels good in your body. Using this little sequence here to explore some of the movements in your spine, to play around with moving with your breath. And with your next exhale, releasing out of that. So coming onto our backs from here. Taking a moment, hugging your knees into your chest. Maybe some rocking back and forth. And releasing your feet down to the ground. Taking a moment here to settle in. Once again, connecting with your breath. Perhaps even placing your hands on your belly, on your rib cage. And feeling in to the rhythm of your breath in this orientation. Bringing your arms to the side. We're going to do a little bit of bridge pose here. So finding your feet beneath your knees, about hip width apart. Taking a moment to press your feet into the ground. And just noticing, right? Does everything feel good and aligned in your knees, your hips? And if you need to make an adjustment, chances are your knees, your hips, something in your legs is going to let you know, right? You may need to bring your feet a little bit further apart, a little bit closer together, a little bit closer to or further from your body. So once you find a good place for your feet, once again, finding your breath, and on an inhale, pressing into your feet, hips lift up. Right? No need to go the full range of motion here. Exhaling back down. Keeping this movement nice and gentle. Inhaling, lifting up. Maybe you lift a little bit higher this time. Exhaling to lower back down. Inhaling to lift your hips up. Exhaling to lower back down. Inhaling to lift your hips up. And exhaling to lower back down. Relaxing here on the ground for a moment. And if you feel content, you feel satisfied with that amount, feel free to hang out, to rest. If you'd like a little bit more, once again, pressing in through your feet, lifting your hips up. This time we'll hang out here, this bridge pose for a few breaths. And when you're ready, releasing out of that, hugging your knees into your chest. Letting your feet go long. And starting to relax a little bit more fully into the ground here. Taking a few more moments to connect with your breath. A few more intentional, full breaths here. And starting to focus a little bit more fully on the exhale. Starting to lengthen that exhale. And using that attention on the exhale to help you release a little bit more fully into the ground here. Feeling the support from the earth. And letting yourself relax ever more fully into the ground here, into the earth. Taking a few more intentional breaths here. And with your next exhale, letting go of your breath. Letting go of the attention on your breath. Letting go of anything else here that may be holding your attention. Giving yourself a moment here to relax fully, held by the earth. Nothing to do here for a few moments. And beginning to reconnect with your breath here, taking a few intentional breaths here, starting to wiggle your fingers and your toes, bringing in some gentle movement. Taking your time here, eventually finding your way onto one side, coming up into a seated position. Finding your way back to seated here. Once again, connecting with your sits bones, feeling the connection with the earth, feeling the ground holding you here in this space. Few more moments here to connect with your breath, taking a few more intentional breaths here. If you'd like, joining me with hands at heart center, ending this mini class here with the moment of gratitude. Gratitude towards yourself for giving yourself this time, this space to be with your body, to be with your breath, to be here fully in your own being. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.